I'd like to turn to the topic of trash, which a couple of you brought up in your discussions, and we've had a lot of questions from the audience. Clearly, the Hilo landfill is continuing to reach the end of its useful life. And by the way, I've looked back and I found articles that the Hilo landfill was reaching the end of its useful life, I think, 30 years ago. But now, according to Bobby Jean Leadhead Todd, who's head of environmental management, it really is. And within 4 years, we're going to have to do something. And the somethings are, you know, there's not an unlimited number of possibilities. So I'd like you to address what you think the solution is, and please include whether you think in some way aggressive recycling might help us address this. Bobby Jean has said that she thinks it will, but understanding we have a composting program coming online to get that out of the landfill. We have a sort station. We have the Pu'uanahulu landfill in West Hawaii. There's a lot of ways to address this. And I'd like to start with you. Eileen, you brought it up, and as did Susan.
Okay.
Well, you were recycling coordinator, I believe.
That's it, yeah. It's actually one of my favorite topics.
And try to confine your comments to about 2 minutes.
Okay. As Sherry mentioned, the Hilo landfill is really reaching its maximum capacity. It can only go to 200 feet. We can't extend the height limit because of its proximity to the airport runways. They've filled in every crevice. They've steepened the slopes. There's no more time here, folks. And there's a reason why we want to change it up. It's an unlined landfill. It was grandfathered in 1993 when the feds required that landfills be lined. That means that the water, what we call leachate, is percolating through the soil and possibly entering our coastal waters. It eventually will.
Well, we know it's going to be closed. We understand the reasons, but
Okay,
what are we going to do?
So what we are going to do is we have a lot of pieces in place right now. We have a sort station that was built. It's not being used for its original intended purpose, which was to sort the waste, separate out recyclables, and send the compacted remaining trash to Pu'uanahulu for waste disposal. Pu'uanahulu has an estimated life of about 75 years, even if it were to handle all of the island's trash, provided we do aggressive recycling. The county is on track with the composting contract, which is about to launch. There's also a private sector effort to do a biodigester in West Hawaii, which will eliminate some of the more complex waste in landfill management. And those are good things. We can get our recycling up above the current 34% and push it easily to 40 to 50% without a whole lot of extra work. And I think we have the pieces together to solve this problem. Some things that we're going to need are better equipment, our trucks. And those are going to be costly, but that is probably the last piece of the puzzle to fall into place.
Give me 15 seconds. How do you get people to recycle if they don't recycle now?
Education is the key, but making it as easy as possible is also the key. When I was recycling coordinator, we went into the two-stream sort. Everybody said, oh, that'll never work. But it did. Got us from 8% to 27% in a period of 18 months. Okay. So that's a big thing, making it easy for people to recycle.
Ms. Green, what do you think we need to do in the county to deal with our trash problem?
Well, education, really, because people are really not doing what they're supposed to do. Pahoa has the best transfer station in the state, I think. And we still need to teach our people what can be sorted, what could be where does it go, green waste, you know, trash. They're just not doing it. When the transfer station closed, everybody just piles everything right in front of the gate. You know, they can't wait until the next day when it reopens. But education, we need to educate. And I think by doing a video, maybe, perhaps, getting it out there to the school children, maybe we start with our school children, teaching them how to recycle. I think that would be part of would help our solution somewhat, teaching our children, and they will teach your parents.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Ms. Leloy, how do you solve our trash problem?
How do we solve it? Yeah, another complex question, like Eileen and Maddie mentioned. But for me, I want to start looking at the next step. So when I think about rubbish, and if you think about rubbish as a pie, what we know now is about 55% of that pie is green waste. So that composting center will begin to take care of that. So for me, I want to look around the corner a little bit and take a good look at what's left of that 50% of the trash that we need to take care of and start programs to start addressing that next step. So whether it's waste to energy, whether it is more recycling, whether it is the food, what we call, the food waste that we use for farms or other things, I want to begin to start looking at that. We can't only concentrate on this composting center right here, right now. That's going to happen. We have to look at the last 50% and what that biggest chunk of trash is, and then plan for that. But I also agree we still need to take a good look at our vehicles and make sure that those vehicles are ready for that next step.
Thank you. Ms. Kali'i, what do you think your solution to trash is?
Okay, so like we mentioned, within the next 4 to 6 years, we're going to hit maximum air capacity at the landfill. And in speaking with Bobby Jean, it does look like the plan is to continue trucking the refuse over to Pu'uanahulu and embarking on this composting project. But I believe we need to look at the goal of zero waste. It's attainable. It will take time, but we need community buy-in. It'll take some adjusting. It'll be a different lifestyle. We're so used to convenience, packaged items. So, there's other cities and countries that have achieved and been able to transition over into zero waste communities. We need to start rethinking, recycle, reuse, reclaim, repurpose, refuse, and really rethink the way that we deal with our trash. Are we gonna do something about it now, or are we gonna leave it for the next generation? I think we all need to be responsible and do our part in preserving our environment and our natural resources, and we need to do our part in all the R's.